Hello, beautiful greetings of today to all my dear friends. So this is Kunal Nagpal and today we are basically going to have a very resourceful discussion which will be actually thought-provoking for you all. Dear friends, today we are basically going to have a brief overview of the Sustainable Development Goals, followed with where is India actually heading towards the attainment of the goal number 7, that is clean energy. Dear friends, let's have a look at the Sustainable Development Goals set up by the United Nations and which were reframed in 2015 after the addition of goal number 7, that is affordable and clean energy, and goal number 13, that is climate action. These sustainable development goals are as follows, that is no poverty, goal number 1, followed with zero hunger, then good health and well-being, then quality education, followed with gender equality. Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation. Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. Goal number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. Goal number 10, reduced inequality. Goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Goal number 13, climate action. Goal number 14, life below water. Goal number 15, life on land. Goal number 16, peace and justice, strong institutions. Goal number 17, partnerships to achieve the goal. So, as we can see, these are very broad goals, and each goal is a complete chapter in itself. And United Nations had basically set up these goals after thorough analysis of the global economic parameters and the global concerns of strategic issue which need to be addressed at the topmost priority. There are nearly 190 member countries, and the attainment of the goals has been put at the fullest, and it has been analyzed, and this is a great moment of pride that Indian economy has been outperforming its major member countries in terms of the attainment of these sustainable development goals. And as far as the goal number 7, that is affordable and clean energy, and goal number 13, that is climate action, is concerned, India needs to put in more efforts towards the development of infrastructure. And a lot of visionary goals have been set up that by 2030, India should be able to attain a lot of significant progress towards the attainment of these particular sustainable development goals, that is goal number 7 and goal number 13. Otherwise, holistically, the picture of India's overall performance is actually very positive, and is being applauded, for which it is being applauded worldwide. Despite of being the developing country, India's performance is really very extraordinary. And as all of us are quite aware that the upcoming G20 summit would be held in India in the year 2023, for which India has assumed the role of actually conducting the presidency. And it will play a and it will really play a key role in the clean energy push, right? It is actually the need of the hour to actually go green, right? So India is among the countries that will drive the acceleration of the extraordinary increase in the deployment of renewables over the next 5 years. We are entering a new and extraordinary growth phase of renewables, said International Energy Agency Chief Fateh Birol. Driving this acceleration are the concerns about energy security, economy, as well as climate change. I repeat, driving this acceleration are the concerns about energy security, economy, as well as climate change. The increased pace of renewable energy deployment will require investment to flow, particularly to the emerging markets and developing economies. Mr. Birol said that India's G20 presidency will play an important role, especially as it takes over from another developing country, Indonesia, and will hand over in late 2023 to Brazil. It is a good opportunity for India holistically to showcase its recent successes, said Mr. Birol. The IEA chief said that India will demonstrate that a developing country can manage its clean energy transition but will require the financial and technological support of the advanced countries to move faster. Yes, very well justified, since we know that it's basically one global family in which we are residing. And these 17 sustainable development goals, which have been set by nearly 190 member countries under the United Nations. So there is an objective to attain these goals holistically as a global family. So it is very well justified that the advanced countries should actually help the emerging markets and developing economies to foster collectively with an increased pace, for which they should provide the financial and technological support to them. The total renewable capacity, according to the International Energy Agency, is set to almost double in the next 5 years, overtaking the natural gas and coal as the largest source of electricity generation. As of now, we know that in India, coal is the biggest source of generating energy, right? So the solar energy becomes the king of all electricity sources, stressed Mr. Birol. So we are observing a gradual transition towards the renewable resources. Over the next 5 years, that is 2022 to 2027, the global renewable power capacity is expected to grow by 2,400 gigawatts. The world is expected to add as much renewable capacity in the next 5 years as it did in the last 20 years. Or put it in another way, the world will actually add the renewable energy capacity equal to the entire power generation capacity of China today, said Mr. Birol. The IEA chief said that this extraordinary expansion would be led by United States, China, European Union, and India. I repeat, the IEA chief said that this extraordinary expansion would be led by United States, China, European Union, and India. Over the last few years, particularly due to the COVID pandemic, there has been a great deal of discussion on manufacturing, on whether the solar manufacturing is focused on one single country, that is China. Mr. Birol pointed out that India will, thanks to the government policies like production-linked incentives, have an important role on reducing this concentration of manufacturing capacity in one country. Today, India's manufacturing capacity accounts for the largest, and also China's manufacturing capacity accounts for nearly 90% of the global capacity. But as a result of the big push from two countries, that is US and India, this 90% will be down to 75%. These figures have been given after thorough statistical analysis. This mainly as a result of the Inflation Reduction Act in the United States and the production-linked incentives in India, said Mr. Birol. Mr. Birol said that the data shows that the production-linked incentive scheme in India attracts a lot of domestic and foreign investment for the photovoltaic manufacturing in India. When I look at the India numbers, we expect that the manufacturing numbers will increase more than 10 times. Government policy will make India the second largest destination for the photovoltaic manufacturing, said Mr. Birol. The IEA chief further says that the current energy crisis can actually be a historic turning point towards a cleaner and more secure future world energy system. I repeat, the IEA chief says that the current energy crisis can be a historic turning point towards a cleaner and more secure future world energy system. Hence basically strengthening the desire to attain the goal number 7, that is the affordable and clean energy. So the continued acceleration of renewables is critical to help keep the door open to limiting the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. This multiple drivers of this extraordinary growth of renewable energy gives Mr. Birol the confidence to say that despite the difficulties, it is actually too early to write the obituary of 1.5 degrees Celsius. However, Mr. Birol points out that investment in clean energy has to increase exponentially. Current policies and efforts will result in investment of $2 trillion by 2030, and this needs to double to $4 trillion, said Mr. Birol. More importantly, the bulk of the money must move to the emerging markets and developing economies. So, this particular write-up has been presented so brilliantly, my dear friends, and I would like to applaud for the extraordinary performance by our economy. It's really admirable. And the goals being set by us for the next 5 to 7 years also are really quite significant, and they are quite thought-provoking, helping as a catalyst to enhance the overall growth prospects in this particular domain of the renewable energy sector, which is actually the need of the hour. So that's all for today, dear guys, and I hope this session would help you immensely. So take good care of yourselves until we meet next. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.